Some people go straight into you, they don't like push you, they don't
There's a company.
It used to be like that.
It used to be, yeah.
What are you looking for?
The security not aware. I said, no.
Point out something.
He's up to something. Yeah. Good night. It's half past now. Yeah.
Keep on.
Good night. Oh, sorry. There's a couple just into the front, right?
I did tell one of my colleagues, years ago, who's quite high up, and he said to me, I don't know, just you let me know, and I never had no trouble after that. Through the grapevine, I just said it through the grapevine, I said, this one is security, told me to F off, is that an old girl like me? And he said, do it now. I'm a Londoner, I'm from London, I'm from where the graves were, so, like, I mean, I say we haven't got the power, I haven't, but at the same time, you put the word out, believe you me, especially if they're like, I'm not being racist, I'm not against any cultures, and if you come here with a dictatorship mind and you're in security, the communist ex-countries, and think you're going to run, British people under that kind of autonomy, you've got another thing coming. Yeah, this is London and we're free, even if you're homeless. You get what I mean? Then they start. Where am I from? Well, I born in Guys and I live on Tooley Street, which is near the Thames. So anyway, at the end of the day, do you know what I mean? You come here and get a job in security, and you're from this kind of mentality. You think you're going to start pushing people around. Do you know what I mean? You get what I mean, don't you?
These Eastern Europeans are classes, are.
Well, I'm not naming names. You want to name names or figures or whatever, but I'm just saying, they've got to go by British law and British security and whatever, not by some whatever. You get what I mean, yeah? And the cop said that as well. He said, well, in Britain, I mean, if I'm sleeping outside a church, the church belongs to the diocese, and it's up to the diocesan priest if he says you can or not for some security to come along and start abusing you, physically or verbally, right? Under our laws, never mind what their laws, back in wherever they're from. Well, I didn't have any trouble after that. Go away. That's probably what some of these others do, is go straight to the cops and say, yeah, these two are pushing us about, in there.
I think it's everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She's upset.
Oh, we thought found this out fast.
Hi.
Poison today in the food. We got poisoned tea, we got poisoned tomato soup, poisoned peanut butter jam sandwich, PJ sandwich, poisoned ham sandwich on white bread. Not edible. This is stuff that you can't eat because it's too poison. So plenty of poison stuff today, as expected. It's fucking cold. I gotta go back to Notre Dame and see what else they got over there. One thing that has been coming up is that because of my non-white grandmother from my father's side, it could be the trick that, now remember, we are not transgender. Me and my brother had an actual woman that gave birth to us, so it's we are not using eggs from so and so, or we're not using eggs from a previous generation. Granted, I don't even know where the fuck these people get eggs. I guess they stole them from white women, or they got women that they take eggs from. I don't fucking know. But because of my grandmother on my father's side being non-white, it could be the trick that they're using to say that we're not white. Now, obviously, we don't have DNA from her, because we didn't get eggs from her, and the sperm was would have been on the xDNA, and the xDNA is from our mother, not our grandmother. So, that's how natural reproduction works. If we would have been women, let's say, if we would have been women, me and my brother, we would have been my father's mother, half the xDNA from that, and the other half of the xDNA would have been from the actual mother, right? So that's how it works, right? There's no xDNA present within us from my father's mother. Now, if that were true, that would make us brown people. And like I said before, brown people are forever victims in the West, just like black people or Jews. So if that were the case, if we had xDNA from my father's mother, that would officially make us brown people. And brown people are always victims, just like black people and Jews, etc., etc. So like I said before, we're either white, targeted by commie Near Eastern fucking hybrids, mongrels, albinos, etc., which is what this is, or we are brown people that are victims. You decide, right? Obviously, this motherfucker can play a dumbass all he wants, and he is a fucking dumbass, a fucking retard that got to where he is purely by the pages in his paycheck, in his checkbook. Yeah, he got to where he is purely by the pages in his fucking checkbook. He's a fucking nobody. Yeah? So, like I said, it's a one-way street. We're either brown people that are victims, because that's what brown people are, including blacks and Jews, or we're white, targeted by commie Near Eastern fucking hybrids, mongrels, and the rest. And all the other assorted varieties of fucking orcs. So, like I said, you can play a fool all you want. You can pretend to be a retard and a dumbass all you want. It's a one-way street. Just like this walkway over here should be one way. said, that's the reason why they do this to mostly everyone. You can see it in Hollywood as well. Usually they have, well, you know, what you would consider interracial couples in there. Occasionally you have them. I mean, they try to stay, from what I've seen, it's not always, they try to stay separated as much as possible, but they do have them in Hollywood as well. It's very common to see them mixing there, but not necessarily white and black. Usually it's other stuff in there that they mix with. Usually if it gets, I think that if it gets close to being too white, or there's something that threatens their position racially over there in Hollywood, they mix it. So you will see it in Hollywood occasionally where they, even though they're transgender already and non-white, if they get close enough to being white, they come up with some kind of mixture. You see something interracial going on, which you would, to the naked eye, it looks like interracial marriage or interracial kids and stuff like that. You see it occasionally in Hollywood as well. If they get close enough to being white, you will see that in Hollywood as well. And like I said, with transgenderism, you don't have this. You don't have the added protection of natural reproduction. Now you don't have the added protection of natural reproduction. They will mix you any way they can. If you're transgender, there's more opportunities to mix you out of existence any way they can. You don't have the added protection of natural reproduction. That's the whole point of being transgender. You got no chance in hell at improving your condition. Yeah, meaning improving your race. Yeah, they're going to improve it for you with something black or Asian. Yeah, if you're transgender, they're going to improve your condition for you with something black or Asian. Understand? That's the whole point of transgenderism. You got no chance at improving your condition. Hello.
We have sandwich. So we
I'll
have
have
sandwich, ham sandwich, or
cheese sandwich.
Have you got a little ticket there? You can pop it in there.
For seconds.
Second. No more cheese.
Ham on white.
There's quite a run on things today.
Can I get a potato leek to a double?
And do you want it double or single?
I'll have a double like last time. Yeah, why not?
You're having the last ones.
Great.
I'll be right with you. I'm finishing with the gentleman. Mama, do you have something with it? Would you like anything with it?
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'll have a white coffee with 3 sugars
And a
instead.
white coffee?
White coffee, 3 sugars.
Yeah.
That's good. I'll mix it. Yeah, it's okay.
It's still quite stuck at the bottom.
It's okay. Yeah, I'll mix it myself. Yeah, it's okay.
So, you said,
White coffee, 3 sugars. Thanks. Thanks.
No, he got up to go visit.
Thanks.
Wouldn't these be really nice ones to shop across?
This thing is extra thick. We got a good sandwich this time. That's a little liquidy for us, huh? I would say so. We'll have to settle on one sandwich. Coffee's no good, maybe it's put there. I gotta go charge.
Check 1, 2. But it's so cold and don't know. I brought you daffodils on a pretty string, but they won't flower like they did last. And I wanna kiss you, make you feel alright. I'm just so tired to share my nights. I wanna cry, and I wanna love, bottle my tears, have been used up on another love, another love. I know my dreams have been used up on another love, another love. I know my dreams have been used up. Been used on another love, another love, another have been used up for another love, another love. I know my dreams have been used up for another love, another love. I know my dreams have been used up.
Yeah, that coffee's poisonous shit. Fuck is cold. Now you see, if I would have been, say, a woman, right, a woman with a penis, I would have had X DNA from my father's mother and X DNA from my mother. That would have been non-white. Yeah. It would have been something like my uncle's daughter. Doesn't look very good. Could be rhesus negative, could be some kind of hybridized something. But my uncle's daughter is obviously non-white. Doesn't matter if the eyes are blue. Doesn't even matter if it's rhesus negative. It looks hybridized. Yeah, the skin is yellow, it's brown, it's whatever. The eyes are blue, sure, very blue enough. It's not green. Yeah, the eyes are blue, it's not green, but the hair is okay. But the skin isn't. It's brown, it's yellow. Yeah? You know, it could be a woman. Yeah, it could be a woman. But my uncle's daughter is a good example of X-DNA from my father's mother. Yeah. And X-DNA from my uncle's wife. Now, my uncle's wife isn't white either. Yeah, my uncle's wife isn't white either. She's not white. So you can say, well, you know, if your white mother would have had X-DNA from my father's mother, that's still a mix. Still counts as a mix. You see? So if I would have been a woman I would have had X-DNA from my father's mother, which is not white. She's not white. Yeah, we know that much. Yeah, definitely not white. And we would have had X-DNA from my mother. White. It's a mix in that situation. I would not have been a woman with a penis, right? So I would have had X-DNA from my mother, who is white, and X-DNA from my father's mother, who isn't white. It counts as a mix. It's a mix. Yeah, that's the whole transgender trick. The transgender trick is if you have X-DNA anywhere along the family line that isn't white, it transfers over every time. It transfers over to castrated males, it transfers over to the women that are dudes. Yeah, because you mix the XDNA that is mixed carries over, and any males that come from that will have it, including castrated males. You see? That's the whole trick with transgenderism. If there is any foreign XDNA, just once, it carries over every generation, indefinitely, forever. That's the problem with transgenderism. If you mix once, if this golden horde mixes you once, just once, and you got nothing to replace it with, yeah, you have no XDNA to replace it with, meaning a white woman, yeah, it carries over indefinitely, forever. Understand? That's the trick. Now, if I would have been transgender, meaning a woman with a penis, I would have had XDNA from my father's mother, who isn't white, and XDNA from my mother, who is white. But that would have been a mix. You understand? Not good for white people. Not good for white people, and that's the trick with transgenderism. Yeah, any mixture carries over if you're transgender. Forever. Anyway, let's go ahead and go charge. 24%. See, that's the issue with transgenderism. You get XDNA from previous generations. If let's say you're a woman transgender, yeah, you're a woman with a penis. You have XDNA from your father's mother and your mother. Right? It's a combination of something from a previous generation. It carries over because it's previous generation. Yeah, whatever was in the previous generation, that's what you get. Yeah, to combine it to get a woman, you have XDNA from your mother and XDNA from your father. Yeah, your father's mother. Yeah, your father's mother, that's the XDNA. It carries over from previous generations. You see, that's how it works. That's how you get a, let's say, a transgender woman. Father's mother, XDNA, previous generation. XDNA from your mother combined. See, it carries over previous generation every time. Forever. Indefinitely. That's why they're so ugly. See, because there's nothing to replace it. There's no white woman to replace that. There's no XDNA that is clean enough to replace it. And everything comes from the previous generation. Meaning XDNA from your father's mother, previous generation, and XDNA from your mother combined together to get something that carries over every time. It's not good. Now you can't replace it. How are you going to replace it? Well, you need a white woman. Charge now. Like I said before, Y DNA that is white is mostly regional, but this Russian crew has managed to spread it across the world. But Y DNA that is white is regional, meaning it's European. You have African Y DNA, you have Asian Y DNA, etc., etc. But usually, even if you take even if you take Y DNA from Europe to Africa or even Asia, obviously Asians being whiter, if you take Y DNA from Europe and take it to Africa, by the third generation that Y DNA is no longer white. Now, by the third generation, if it continues in Africa, the male line continues in Africa from Europe, by the third generation is no longer white. Doesn't matter. Yeah, that you took Y DNA from me or my brother and it ended up in Africa. Because by the third generation, if the male doesn't die out, if there's no kids, it's going to be African by the third generation anyway.
Anyone? The bus? And come back again?
Wow, this motherfucker brought his fam here from all 7 continents. Incredible. Incredible amount of crowds in here. So you can take Y DNA from any male in Europe. I mean, it's just me and my brother, they tell me, which is hard to believe. You can take Y DNA from any male in Europe and take it to Africa or Asia. If it continues in Africa or Asia, that Y DNA will be Asian or African. Yeah, from being mixed with other X DNA that is Asian, even though it's a male and it's Y DNA, by the third generation, that Y DNA will be Asian or African. Yeah, if it's a male and it continues to have kids, even if it's transgender male, yeah, it's a transgender male. And let's say that it continues having kids in Asia or Africa. By the third generation, that Y DNA will be non-white. See, Y DNA is regional, specific to a certain region, always. Yeah, meaning it's European, Asian, or African. Yeah, usually one of the two. Sometimes Amerindian, if it's, obviously they have males in South Africa, South America. There's got to be some. I mean, there's fucking 1 billion of them over there. 2 billion, I don't know what it is these days. Looks like this guy brought his family here from all 7 continents today. There's not even enough room on these sidewalks to walk, and they're very generous on girth. Might actually have to go back because didn't get enough food. So I might actually have to walk back around 5 because I got nothing better to do. So that's the trick with transgenderism. Transgender male, woman, right? X-DNA from father's mother, previous generation, combined with X-DNA from the mother. Like I said, because it carries over every time and there's no replacement, meaning you don't have a white woman with Y DNA, with a sperm donor who has white Y DNA, you instead get a mix of something. You get a mix of something from the previous generation every time if you're a woman with a penis. Understand? That's why they're ugly. Yeah, someone came along and uglified you. That's why Jews are so ugly. It's always something from the previous generation, mixture and mixture again and again, until you can't fucking wash it out anymore. No matter what you mix it with, no matter what white woman you find, that XDNA is ruined as far as creating white people. As far as creating white people, that XDNA is forever ruined. Understand? That's why Jews are so ugly. Yeah, you look at the Richter boys, you look at Larry Summers, you look at Larry fucking King. That's why they're ugly as fuck. Yeah, they're transgender. That XDNA has been carried over from previous generations over and over and over again. Yeah, and mixed so many fucking times you can't even tell what race they are anymore. Yeah, because it's always mixed and mixed again from the previous generation over and over and over the fuck again until you can't even tell what the fuck race they are anymore. Yeah, that's the problem there. And that's why they're so ugly. And that's what the Allies went to bat for. Yeah, that's what the Allies went to bat for. Congrats. You got a biological disaster in return. That's what you got out of it. A biological disaster like the Richter boys. That's what you got in return for your sacrifice. Give yourself a nice pat on the fucking back for winning Europe over to the Richter boys and a factory of castrated males.